Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We will chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 1 to 5 of chapter 3. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Na karmanam anarambhat.
Na karmanam anarambhat.
Naishkarmyam purushoshnute.
Naishkarmyam purushoshnute.
न च संन्यसनादेव
न च संन्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week we were seeing this first line of verse 5, wherein he says, Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Means not even for a moment can anyone in reality remain inactive. So as I told you, the main message of this line is no one can remain inactive. But he doesn't stop with merely giving the message. He packages the message with 3 phrases to add more punch, to add more power to that statement. One is not even for a moment, kshanam api, nahi kshanam api. And then kaschit means anyone, and jatu. Jatu means in reality. See, whenever you communicate something, the packaging is very important. I did explain this from the standpoint of emphasis a couple of sessions back. But this is also a very useful angle, So you see, when a person wants to sell any product, they spend a good amount of money in packaging that product very beautifully. Packaging means the presentation. The packaging and presentation helps in delivering the core message effectively. That is why every company has a separate marketing department, and there are specialized people who what is the role of a marketing person? They see what the features of the products which are being sold are, and they have to highlight, they have to present it in a way which is attractive to the consumers. So you can adopt that principle in your day-to-day living. See, generally there is a concept that marketing is wrong. Marketing is unspiritual. That's what people think. Per se, marketing is not unspiritual. Marketing means what? You're presenting something or presenting whatever is there in the most effective way. When it becomes unspiritual is when you present something which is not there. That is misuse of marketing. So in life, you should know to present yourself, whether it is in work or whether it is in a relationship. We are not talking of impressing the other person. See, if you merely try to impress the other person, it will not work. So the first thing is the core message, that is the core values. And then you should present yourself in such a way that the other person can relate to you. I know many talented people, they don't progress in their career because they don't know how to present their talents, present their work. In our ancient wisdom, they have laid emphasis on both the core message and the packaging, the presentation. Actually, if you take the very language Samskritam means, Kritam means that which is done, something which has been executed. Here it is a language. Sam means very good, excellent. So something which has been done or executed in a very good way, in a very attractive way. Because the language of Sanskritam was not formulated as a spoken language originally. It was just to capture the divine vibrations. It was more for the mantras and getting connected with the celestial vibrations. So they did a lot of research and took into consideration all the celestial divine sounds or nadam vibrations, and they gave it a form which was later on called Sanskritam. So since their goal was to capture the vibrations, that part they have done it very beautifully. Every letter denotes a particular sound. And see, in Sanskritam language there is no ambiguity. One letter will be pronounced in that particular way only. That is why some of the scientists, they say that the Sanskritam language is very good for artificial intelligence because there is a precision about the very construction of the language. So Sanskritam means well done, well presented, well executed. So our ancient yogis, our ancient rishis were never against packaging or presentation. But that should not be at the cost of the core message. So the core value, the core message, whatever be the product, the quality of that should not come down in any way. It should have the highest quality, and then it should be presented in a proper way. That combination makes it very effective. That's what you see he's following in the first line. Instead of just saying that everybody has to act or no one can remain inactive in a very bland way, he is adding 3 phrases and packaging that message so powerfully, and that is why that line is very effective. So a yogi focuses on both. So as a sadhak, you should also focus on both these aspects, not merely in studying this verse or the coming verses, but in your life itself you can practice this principle. See, remember, in these Sunday discourses, the yogic approach is being introduced to you, and when you are exposed to these principles, you can practice these principles in every aspect of your life, not merely in understanding these verses alone. So even in Tamil, there is a beautiful saying, no? Aal padi, adai padi, which means half is the person, that is personality, remaining half is a dress. So you may have a wonderful personality, but the way you dress also matters. Now there, when the word adai is used, it is not restrictive. It is not restricted only to the dress. What they mean is the presentation. Usually these two things don't go together. See, you will find people who don't have any stuff, who don't have any quality, they present themselves very beautifully. And they do meet with success in the short term, but in the long run, they will not be able to maintain that success because they don't have that stuff. That is one class. On the other hand, you find people who genuinely have talent, who have quality, but they don't know how to present themselves. They are dependent on others. In case they get someone who understands their value and then who is able to present it, then only their work reaches people. So as a sadhak, if you can absorb this sadhana principle of combining quality, inherent quality with your presentation, you will be successful in anything which you do. See, karma yoga is to master karma, action. Now, when you master karma, you will become very highly successful both at the spiritual level and at the worldly level. So as we are getting into the depth of these verses, I will be giving you these various tips. All are related to karma only, action. So you are acting in the world, and that is backed by these two forces. One is the inherent quality of your personality or the inherent quality of that action itself, which is stemming from you only. And the other is the presentation or packaging. When both are integrated properly, your karma or action becomes very powerful, very effective. So many a times parents say, my children don't listen to me. I've been trying to communicate to my child, but my child does not listen to me at all. Even though what you're saying may be the right thing, you will have to see the psychology of the child and present it in a way which will appeal to the child. When you don't put effort in that direction, you may be telling a very good thing, a very positive thing, but all your efforts will go waste because it will not reach the other person. So why is it that when a master gives out the truths, it is very penetrative. It catches the attention of not merely the conscious mind, but of the deeper mind also, because he combines these two principles. So how do you apply this in your life? First is your personality. Genuine values, good qualities, quality. You should focus on developing or increasing your quality. That is what you are. That is going to define you. And then the next thing is, whether you're working in your office or whether it is your family, whether it is to your friends, how are you presenting yourself? So don't present something which you are not. Don't hide. Supposing you lack something, don't hide it and present something else. Then you will face a lot of problems. Actually, when two individuals meet and they fall in love with each other, and then later on when they get married, they get into a lot of problems because of this only. Many couples have asked me, why is it that before we got married, we felt mutually we felt that the other person was the best, but after marriage now all those things have fallen apart. Why is that? The reason is, before marriage they try to impress each other, so they hide whatever negativities which they have and they present something which they are not to each other to impress. And the other person also does not have the clarity or depth to penetrate and understand, to assess. So based on the presentations of each other, they get into a relationship. And when they get close, once they get married and they settle down, then the other side of it, which is their true nature, will start manifesting. And at that time, it is a big shock for the mind. That is when all the problems start. So, what you present should not be against what you are. You should never ever present yourself in a wrong way, in a false way. That is like wearing a mask. Your presentation should be used, this principle of presentation and packaging should be used to enhance whatever you have, not to portray something which you don't have. Remember that. Because when you practice this sadhana, that is a block which your mind will face. You may tend to focus too much on presentation and leave out the quality. So if you want to become successful, you need to have these two things. Number one, quality in whatever you do. Focus on developing your skills. Focus on becoming really, really good at whatever you're doing. This is number one. And number two, learn to present yourself effectively. It is a beautiful sadhana. It will be an interesting practice for you. And the blocks which you will face are, as I told you, you may slip into one extreme where you start presenting what you don't have. That time you should stop. Or you may slip into another negative quality of trying to impress others in the name of presentation. That is also very dangerous, because when you start trying to impress others, then your focus shifts from your action to impressing the other person. Then the quality will start suffering. So these are the two obstacles you will face when you are trying to practice the sadhana. So all the masters, they effectively combined these two principles. They gave out the truths. They ensured that the purity of the message never came down. I'm talking of true masters. And at the same time, they presented it in a way that everybody could relate to it. That is, at least those people who were there, during those times, they were able to relate to it. So that principle is what he is following in the first line. The message is simple, but the packaging adds more power to that. So last week I had given you this homework. Not even for a moment. We went into a lot of depth. So not even for a moment action stops. Anywhere you take, the entire cosmos, is constantly acting. So from a spiritual point of view, it is the Shakti or energy. We call it the Shakti. Shakti means energy. So that energy is constantly functioning everywhere. Not even for a moment, means at any point of time, whether it is in the past, whether it is right now, or if you're able to project into the future and see, you will find that the entire universe is nothing but the play of the Shakti. Actually, here we are talking about the third dimensional world, but our yogis have gone into much more depth regarding the manifestation of Shakti. They have divided the entire universe into 14 divisions, 14 dimensions called lokas. So 7 dimensions are the lower dimensions, and then the earthly dimension, and then 6 more above. Again, that is only a division. There are many more lokas also. Loka means an experience. So this is when we do the Shakti sadhana, the 14 dimensions, they say that a person who does Shakti sadhana and gains mastery over the Shakti, then he or she gains complete mastery over all the 14 dimensions. So 14 dimensions means different types of expressions, different types of actions at the physical, mental, that is emotional and thought level. So as far as you are concerned, that small homework which I gave you, I'm sure you all would have done that after your personal sadhana, just sitting for a few minutes and becoming a witness to the play of that supreme energy. It is a very powerful sadhana, because on one hand you will become aware of that Shakti, on the other hand you will become a witness. See, you will be in the activity. This small practice will help you to master the subtleties of Karma Yoga. What is one subtle principle of Karma Yoga? To be in the activity and yet be away from the activity. To participate everywhere and yet not be affected. That is a very beautiful combination. But when you try to practice it, you will find it is almost impossible. But a yogi achieves that. How? This is one method. When you start seeing the activities as an expression of the divine Shakti, divine energy, then that will automatically take you to a meditative state. You will become a witness. So you will be acting, and at the same time you will also be witnessing, because your focus is on the energy, the Shakti. That is why I had asked you to do that small homework, just to build that power within you. It will help you so much in unraveling more messages from these verses. So that small sadhana actually contains this very deep principle of Karma Yoga. So allowing yourself to act in the world and at the same time maintaining a Sakshi Bhav. Sakshi Bhav means a witnessing attitude. That is only possible if you focus on something which is beyond action. As long as you focus on action alone, you will get involved in that. But as you are acting, if you're able to see that activity as a manifestation of the divine Shakti, you will continue with that action, but you will make it divine. Your attachment, your connection will be with the divine, not merely with the action. So, not even for a moment does activity stop everywhere. And it's not only that, when you start seeing the whole expression, that is this universe, as an expression of the divine Shakti, then the universe will not disturb you anymore. Your mind will start becoming very calm and peaceful, because you will understand that there is this supreme Shakti which is beyond your existence, and that is manifesting in the entire universe. So there is no point in getting agitated about anything. None of that is within your control. See, if something is within your control, then there is some meaning in getting agitated. Even there, the yogis ask, why do you have to get stressed? But if at all you are getting stressed in the areas where you have control, at least there is some logic. Yes, I am agitated about this, but this is under my control, so let me do the right thing, let me take corrective actions and find a solution. But if you get agitated about things which you have no control over, then your whole life will become miserable. So the activities today actually agitate your mind, but that process is reversed when you do the simple sadhana. I'm saying simple sadhana, but it's very, very deep. It's a very deep yogic principle. So when you see the entire universe as an expression of the divine energy, now that will inspire you, that will start making you spiritual. You know, many people ask this question, like let us say a calamity happens somewhere and that causes destruction. Now immediately this question is asked, is God there? If God is there, then why is this happening? This question comes because of a very limited understanding of that supreme power or God, what you call as God. You think God means there should be no destruction. That is not true. See, what have they beautifully explained in our Shastras? If you see, God is that power or Shakti which is beyond us. That's all. What are the different activities of that power? Sometimes creation will go on. That was depicted as Brahma. Sometimes maintenance will go on. That was depicted as Vishnu. Sometimes destruction will go on. That was depicted as Rudra. Actually, it's not only these three activities. They have given two more activities also in general. The fourth activity of that supreme power is, they say, Rakshana, means protection. See, there is an inherent protective mechanism. Even if you take our physical body, there is a protective mechanism. That is the immune system. If you study the immune system, it's very interesting. 3 lines of defenses are there. Whenever any foreign body enters, then our body tries to throw it out. That is the protection mechanism. Whether we understand it or not, that is there. When a baby is born, before a baby is born, the embryo, it's so beautifully protected, covered. So there is an inherent protection mechanism because without that the life cannot sustain. So that is the fourth aspect. The fifth aspect is called anugraha. For those people who turn spiritual, who get that mumukshatva, who start asking what is beyond this world, who is God, a genuine seeking, those people who become seekers, for them the anugraha happens. It is said that the divine energy graces, anugraha means blesses or graces. So that is when a guru comes into your life. So it's not that a guru comes into your life by coincidence. No. When you start seeking, that is when the infinite manifests in the form of a guru and starts guiding you. So understand that is the anugraha of the divine Shakti. That's why when you get attached to the form of the guru will discourage you. A true guru will discourage you. He'll just simply not want to have more and more followers and he's sitting with more power. That is not the focus of a guru at all. He will try to push your attention, that is, change your attention from his form to that divine power which has ultimately graced you with the wisdom. So different activities of that divine energy of God have been listed out. One of that activity is destruction, because see, all have to happen, the creation, maintenance, destruction. Otherwise the world cannot exist. So even when a destructive activity is happening, as far as a sadhak is concerned, that is a proof that God exists. God means what? Some power which is beyond our control. So are we controlling that destructive happening, event? That is way beyond our control. So for a yogi, every activity is an opportunity for him or her to get connected to the divine Shakti. Whereas when you don't have this perception, God may take a form and come in front of you and talk to you, still you will miss the divinity. You will miss that divine experience. So it is right now, it is not the type of activity which he is talking about, but it is what is behind the action. So as I told you, from action we will be moving to actionlessness. From the gross karma, which is the manifestation, we will be moving to the subtle energy, the Shakti. So not even for a moment, means the entire universe is constantly bristling with activity, both at the macrocosmic level and at the microcosmic level. So first we will see this at the macrocosmic level. That's what I had asked you to do the homework, if you can be a witness to all the activities which are happening in the entire universe. It makes you a very powerful person, because you become a detached witness, a person who is able to witness in an unaffected way becomes very, very powerful, because the mind calms down. A calm mind is the most powerful instrument which you can have. Unfortunately, today that instrument is very blunt because of the various stress factors. Now, first is to conceive the totality, macrocosmic view. Then you go into the microcosm, that is your own self, individual. Not even for a moment can I remain inactive. I did mention it in passing in the last session, but now I'm explaining that a little more. So first, see the play of Shakti everywhere, and now you apply it to yourself. Not even for a moment can I remain inactive. So the moment you understand that, all your tamas, all your laziness, your tendency to escape from activity will all get pulverized. And you will start understanding that you yourself are a manifestation of that divine Shakti. If the entire universe is a manifestation of the divine Shakti, you are also a part of the universe, then you become a spark of that divine flame. This will give you supreme confidence. Don't consider yourself as an ordinary person. See, the moment I say that, again there is a tendency to get a superiority complex. This is applicable to everyone. See, if you say, I am God, I am a spark of divinity here, that will not give you ego. But if you think I am the only person who is a spark of divinity, that is when you will get a superiority complex. So this is applicable to others also. That is why we start from the macrocosmic level and then come to the individual level, so that there will be no ego. Everyone is an expression of that divine spark, the divine flame. All are sparks. I am also a spark of the divine. It's an exalted state. Your consciousness will start expanding tremendously. So when an action is being performed by you, now that action will no longer be an ordinary action. It will not be merely some activity which you're doing. It will become a very divine action. Why? Because it is stemming from that supreme energy. It is a manifestation of that energy. When you don't have that connection, that activity becomes an ordinary action. This is how you can purify your karmas, your actions, by considering each and every action of yours as a manifestation of the divine Shakti. So whether you're talking, whether you're listening, whether you're eating, whether you're walking, whether you're sleeping, it doesn't matter. It's all the manifestation of that divine energy, the higher Shakti. So not even for a moment. A beautiful phrase. And then the next one is kaschit, nahi kaschit, means anyone. Means no one is an exception to this law. I did tell you, no. Lord Krishna himself says, I have nothing to gain from these three worlds. Nothing in these three worlds can give me happiness, can give me anything. I am in a state of paripurna. Yet, I am doing my duties, I am continuing to act, says Krishna. It's a very powerful personal appeal. It will be coming in this chapter only later on. It's a very powerful personal appeal to Arjuna. So, if Krishna himself doesn't get away from action, then what about you and me? How can we even think of escaping from activity? That is the inspiration to the mind which is being provided. So all the gods, they have been assigned some tasks and they are continuously performing. No holidays, no, say for example, sun. This is how the whole thing has been portrayed in the Puranas. No, sun god. There is no holiday for sun god. If the sun takes a holiday, we'll be in real trouble. So every aspect of nature is functioning meticulously without any break. It is only a human being who wants to take a break. The concept of retirement is only there for a human being. Actually, there is nothing called retirement. If you approach it correctly, you will plan it in such a way that, see, it's only an external retirement, getting away from certain activities. But you can always plan it properly and create some activities for yourself. But most people don't do that, because that is a weakness of the mind, no? So no one is an exception to this rule. This is at the macrocosmic level. And then at the microcosmic level, I am not an exception. See, somewhere deep, deep within, the mind always feels that, all this is not applicable to me. So that also should be broken. That barrier should be broken. In our Puranas, they have given out many incidents where the stress is on the karma of an individual. How a person cannot escape. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Hiranyakashipu is there, Prahalada and Hiranyakashipu. Most of you would be knowing the story. So Hiranyakashipu was a demon. I'm not going into the full story, why, what was he in the previous birth and all that, but here the focus is on the karma aspect, only that part I'm explaining. So he did a lot of tapas. He hated Lord Vishnu and he wanted to become very powerful. He wanted to become the ruler of the three worlds. So he went and did tapas. He went and asked his guru, Shukracharya, what should I do? And Shukracharya gave him the advice, go and do tapas, because if you do tapas, if you do sadhana, that is when you can get power. So he went and did sadhana. He meditated on Lord Brahma for many years, and then Lord Brahma appeared and asked him for a boon. He said, I'll give you a boon, you ask, what is it that you want? So then Hiranyakashipu, he said, I want to live forever, make me deathless. To which Brahma said, that is not possible. Everyone who is born has to die. I myself have a lifespan. Lord Brahma's lifespan is 100 years, 100 Brahma years. One Brahma year is many, many millions of earthly years. That is how the calculation goes. So that thing is not possible. The karma niyati has been set. So ask some other boon. Then he tried to manipulate. He thought, let me ask for the same boon in a different way. He said, I should not be killed by the gods. I should not be killed by the demons. I should not be killed by animals. I should not be killed by a human being. I should not be killed by any weapon. Like I should not be killed in the morning, I should not be killed in the noon, I should not be killed in the night. Like this, there is a day or night. So many things he put forward. He thought about it and very carefully drafted his request. And Brahma said, Tata astu, and vanished. So he became so happy. He thought he had conquered death. He actually thought he had outwitted Lord Brahma. See, this is the foolishness of the intellect, And what happened is he went and he started, he became the ruler of the three worlds, the earth, heaven, hell, everything. And he established himself and he started torturing good people. He said, everybody now should start worshipping me. I am the God because I have become deathless. Nobody can defeat me. Now, a very interesting incident has been given out there. So when he was torturing people, all the gods, they all went to Lord Vishnu. And they said, Oh Lord, only you can save us. You see, Hiranyakashipu is really torturing everyone. Now it is up to you. You should kill him and save all the good souls. To which Lord Vishnu says, when the right time comes, I will do the needful. Don't worry. So the gods, they just bow down and they take that word, as an authority, and they say thank you and they go away. So after they go away, there is a very interesting conversation between goddess Lakshmi and Vishnu. So Lakshmi asks him, she says, why did you say when the right time comes? Is there a right time, wrong time for you? He says, no, it is not that. It is just that Hiranyakashipu has done a lot of tapas. That is one karma he has done. So now whatever benefits he is enjoying is a result of that karma, that action. It is so many years he has done tapas. Now, I need to respect that. That is the karma niyati. But now, what is he doing with that power? With all the benefits which he is getting, he is misusing all that. That is another karma he is doing. The result of this would be, this will exhaust whatever the effects of the tapas which he has done. Once that he completely exhausts and it becomes zero, that is a time where I can do something. That is the karma niyati. So beautifully explained. There is no one, whether it is Hiranyakashipu or Lord Vishnu, both of them follow the karma niyati. They have to follow. That is how it is portrayed there. So then he says, till now Hiranyakashipu was facing Ucha Dasha. In astrology they talk of Ucha Dasha and Nicha Dasha and all. Ucha Dasha means the ascending time, and now the descending time is going to start. It's all based on karmas only. No stars are determining all this. Based on your own karmas, you will go up or you will come down. Now that he has started the misusing process, the Nicha Dasha has started. He is slowly going to come down. And his own son, Prahalada, who's going to be my devotee. Prahalada was a great yogi. He will be born to him, and Hiranyakashipu will, there's a very good chance that he's going to torture him, his own son, because he will be focused on me, devoted to me. And that is when his downfall will get heightened. So when this conversation was happening, sage Narada was also standing there. All the other gods had left, but sage Narada was there. Narada alone, because of his purity of mind, had access to any loka, anywhere, even the private chambers of any person, because his mind was so pure, so that thing was given to him. So then Narada asked him, okay, what happens if he likes his son? You see, any father will be attached to his son. So if the attachment becomes more and he stops torturing his son, Prahalada, then what will happen? To which Vishnu gives a beautiful answer. He says, then the downfall will be stopped. That will, the process of his downfall will become slow. To which Narada says, no, I will not allow that. I will ensure, I will keep going and giving him such thoughts where he tortures his son more, because that is what is good for the world. And beauty is that when Lord Vishnu came to kill him finally, when his karmas were completely neutralized, and when Lord Vishnu came to kill him, he took a form which was very interesting, Lord Narasimha. So Nara means a human, Simha means lion. So the face of a lion and the body of a human being. So he was neither a human being, nor was he an animal, nor was he a god, nor was he a demon. And the time which he chose for killing was the Sandhya. Sandhya means the three Sandhyas, no? Early morning, then mid-noon, and then in the evening, where two things meet. Sandhya means actually meeting. So when the dusk and morning meet, that is night and morning meet, that is called dusk. That is the Sandhya time in the morning. Similarly, in the evening, the afternoon is ending and night is, the evening and night, they are starting. So that period is called Sandhya. So he chose that time which was neither day nor night. It was in between. And he had said I should neither be killed on earth or on sky. Then where can he be killed? It is the beauty is Lord Narasimha picked him up and placed him on his lap. So when he placed him on his lap to kill him, now he is neither on the earth, ground, nor is he on the sky. And he used his nails to kill him. That was not a weapon. He had asked for the boon. No, I should not be killed by any weapons. So beautifully described, just to say that nobody can go beyond the karmas. There is no exception. He may have done such great tapas and he thought that he had outwitted Lord Brahma. He had outwitted the law of karma. But no. So such elaborate incidents have been given in the Puranas to give these messages. So not even one person is an exception to this. This is at the macrocosmic level. Now from the microcosmic level, I am not an exception to this. I cannot remain inactive. This is how the karma niyati is. This is how the natural law is. You will have to personalize it. So not even for a moment can anyone, and then the third point which is very interesting is in reality, jatu. Krishna is being very practical. See, when we are talking about high things, when we are talking about the divine energy, the how to overcome the karmas and so many high concepts, there is always a chance that your mind can become very impractical. So that's why he says jatu. Jatu means in reality. All masters always conform to the realities of life. They were never impractical. A person who has not absorbed this wisdom fully becomes highly impractical. Where it is not required, he will start talking philosophy. Where he needs to act, he'll be sitting and talking very high things. See, that is one thing which all of you should be careful about. You are receiving so many messages every week. Automatically you will be so inspired. In the inspiration, you should not catch hold of others and start giving lectures to them. then it will become a big problem for you. If you want to introduce someone to this, you can send the link. It's all there, no, in our internet. So you can send them the link and let them listen to this firsthand. You don't start lecturing, because you will not know what to say where and what to see. Where is that person coming from? So many things are there. So in your excitement, you shouldn't become impractical and start advising everyone whether they are asking you for their advice or not. So a master never does that. That is why in reality means a master is very practical and he always conforms to the realities of life. The mind has the tendency to keep dreaming. to keep floating. So remember this. On one hand, you should do your sadhana properly and keep on expanding your consciousness. You should become one with that divine energy. On the other hand, you should never ever lose sight of practicality. You should see what are the realities of life and you should conform yourself to the realities of life. That is very important. What do we mean by conforming yourself to the realities of life? The mind has its own expectations which are completely divorced from the realities. Even if you take a simple thing like weather, when the summer means it will be hot. That is how it has been ordained. Winter means it will be cold. But you see, the mind's expectations is that during summer you want it to be cool and during winter you want it to be hot. That's why the mind keeps on complaining. A person has a particular nature. No, but your expectations will be different from that. Then you will get into trouble. In the next line, he is going to explain this only. That's why I'm introducing this principle to you now. When we go to the next line, we'll be seeing it in great detail. So learn to conform to realities. Keep on taking keep on making fresh assessments. See, the world isn't, the moment we say activity is going on all the time, what do we mean? The world is not static, it is dynamic. So when something is dynamic, now there is going to be change all the time. That's why they say change is changeless. The world means change. The only thing which never changes is the fact that everything is changing. So when everything is changing, your situations also will keep on changing. You see, how is the world? Last year it was one thing, this year it will be something. Even the events which are happening, they'll keep on changing. According to that, you should see what the realities of life are and immediately conform to those realities. You should ensure that your expectations are not totally away from what the realities of life are. Then your mind will never get stressed. That is why during the COVID time, when heavy lockdowns were imposed, and they said if someone is infected, now they'll have to be quarantined and all that. If you remember, even in that 10-day healing course, it's available in, I think, online. Anybody can do that. In that, I had explained, instead of using the word quarantine, now if you can use the word solitude, now that will make it very positive. See, you cannot change the circumstance. The events are happening, unfolding before you. That is what the reality is. So you need to accept it and look at it in a positive way. Oh, for so many days I have to be in solitude. Then that becomes a sadhana for you. So keep on assessing situations. What is the reality? And conform your expectations, your actions to those realities in life. Then you will meet with success. And not only will you meet with external success, your mind also will be very calm. But if your expectations are divorced from the realities of life, your mind will be stressed. And if you don't adjust according to what the changes are whatever changes are happening externally, you will never be successful. So that is why this word jatu is a beautiful sadhana. You can derive the sadhana principle from that. From this moment onwards, you don't have your own set of expectations and live in a dreamy world. That is not a spiritual life. Instead, see what the realities are and be very practical. Stick to practicality. Let your thoughts be very high. Let your values be very noble. When I say values be noble, let your values be pegged on to the highest, the infinite. But when it comes to action, be very, very practical. What do I need to do in this particular situation? The moment you shirk whatever you ought to do in that situation, and then you say, I'm not doing this because I'm thinking of God, then that will not work, because these will create further karmas for you and they will become a block. They will not allow you to become divine. So when you go to a master for personal guidance, you will always find him talking very practically to your level. See, what do we mean by practicality, reality? What is my level? First you have to assess that. And whatever you take up, apart from the Yoga Sankirtan, I'm talking of whatever principles you take up to practice, you should relativize it and see, from my level, how can I apply this? You should not talk philosophy which is way beyond your level. That will not help you. So a yogi is one who is attuned to the infinite on one hand, but who is very, very practical and sees what is the best course of action in that situation. So if you take Arjuna, he was supposed to fight there as a warrior. Instead of fighting, he was sitting and talking philosophy. Whereas, what Krishna was asking Arjuna to do is get on with practicality, start acting. That is going to be the whole message of the Bhagavad Gita. Even though Krishna touches upon so many aspects, because Arjuna requires all that, for the final message is now start doing your duties. He was very practical. So that is Jatu. So not even for a moment, number one, can anyone, number two, in reality, means this is what the realities of life are, Arjuna. You should understand that, says Krishna. We cannot go against realities. The more we try, the more we will injure ourselves. That is why that word Jatu is a very important word for a sadhak. As a thinker said, you cannot break a law. You can only break yourself against a law. We are talking of natural laws here, no? So, you can never break a law, but in that process of trying to break, you will injure yourself only. So, not even for a moment can anyone in reality remain inactive. Tishtati akarmakrit. Karmakrit means performing action. Karma means action. Krit means performing. So karmakrit, it's a beautiful word. It means performance of activity, performing actions. Akarmakrit means the opposite, not performing activity, which means remaining in, which means inaction. And then tishtati. Tishtati means remaining, being established. It's a very powerful phrase again. Akarmakrit means inaction. Tishtati means remaining in inaction. So not even for a moment can anyone in reality remain. Remain means be established in inaction. They cannot remain inactive. So it is, we have seen the logic of it. The entire nature is constantly acting. Right from birth, the action is going on. Even when you're sleeping, actions are going on. All that we have seen. Now there is a beautiful combination. He says tishtati and akarmakrit. See, as a human being, you have the choice of action. Now, using the choice in a wrong way, supposing you try to escape from action, then what will happen? He says, you will not be, even if you try to escape from action momentarily, you will not be able to continue in that. That is why he's used the word tishtati. You cannot continue to remain inactive. So when you try to escape from some activity, when you try to shirk something, now logically speaking, it's not possible to give up an action. You will only be taking up some other action. That is one aspect. The other aspect is, even if you talk about giving up some activity because of your weakness, he says you will not be able to remain in that state for long. Why? Because nature is designed for action, in terms of action. So you will be forced to act. This is a very powerful message. In the next line, he is going to explain that more. But now itself, you can start absorbing the deeper messages. See, if you try to escape from some weakness in life, now that nature will force you to change after a while by giving knocks and shocks. Either you change for the positive willingly, or nature will force you. Supposing, let us say, Arjuna, after hearing this whole thing also, he says, Krishna, I am not convinced, I am not going to fight this battle, and if he goes away. Now what do you think would have happened to him? Do you think his personality would have flowered? No. All the aggression within him, because he was a warrior, would have all been stifled, and he'll live with an eternal guilt. So the nature will give him more and more knocks and shocks till if he doesn't change, it will continue giving him a lot of problems until that time comes where he says, okay, let me now overcome this weakness. So in life, situations unfold not without a reason. Every situation is an opportunity for you to overcome your weaknesses and grow into a better person by acting in a right way. But what the mind does is, the mind resists growth. The mind wants to stay in tamas. So instead of using an experience to grow, you tend to cover up. You stop putting in effort. And whenever some activity is unpleasant for you, because any change will be unpleasant, even though it's a good activity, if you try to avoid it, then as a next step, nature will start forcing you by giving you more challenges. At that time, at least, if you do, you should wake up. But if you refuse to wake up, then the challenges will start increasing in your life. Change is a must. Change for the better. The entire nature, see, he says universe is constantly acting, but where is it heading? What is the purpose? The purpose is perfection. So the whole of nature is in the process of evolving. You also being a part of nature, you are also in the natural process of evolution. So when you try to stop that process of evolution, if you try to get into tamas, now nature will start posing a lot of problems to you. More and more, your problems will start increasing more and more, till you decide to get into the process of evolution. So a sadhak is one who willingly takes to the path of change. Tapas means there is an element of austerity involved, discipline involved. So some amount of suffering is there. So a yogi takes up suffering voluntarily because without any suffering, without any effort, the higher results are not possible. No, as the saying goes, no pain, no gain. Even if you want to build muscles, you need to go through some amount of pain when you're doing your exercises. So a yogi willingly takes up more challenges to better himself or herself. Whereas a normal person's mind tries to escape from activity. So just to get that temporary pleasure, I have run away from that problem, but that problem will get magnified and it will come back to you wherever you go. This is the law of life. So, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Even if you try to move away from action, that will only be very temporary, but you cannot continue to remain in action. How do we say that every experience is an opportunity for you? Supposing somebody is insulting you and you're getting very much affected. You have two lessons to learn from there. One is how to remain unaffected by being very strong from within. That is the first lesson. Second lesson is how to deal with that situation. Now, instead of learning that lesson, if you try to escape from the situation, wherever you go, the weakness is still there. So nature will give more and more experiences like that for you till you learn the lesson. Like this in your life, you can see how this karma niyati is functioning. Wherever you are refusing to learn and grow, nature will forcefully try to put you into a lot of troubles so that you can become strong. This is how it is designed. So we'll stop with that today. You think about it. It's especially the last point which was given to you is a very, very practical point, an extremely powerful point that that can actually change your life. You think about it. In the next session, I'll give you a few more tips there. I'll explain that a little more, and then we'll go to the next line, which is again a very deep principle which he'll be giving us. Okay, so before we do the meditation, I will take up a couple of questions which have come. So this question has been asked by Jinendra Das ji. So respected Swamiji, kindly accept my humble pranams. The 22 days empowerment course on infinite happiness showed us different inner worlds. Thanks Guruji for organizing such a wonderful empowerment course for us. You should thank the volunteers only, because I am not organizing anything. They are organizing. So I registered for the empowerment program on infinite happiness for my grandson, S. Tarun Kirti, 9 years old. He is kind, understanding and fairly a calm child. Guruji, please guide me if I can buy infinite happiness audio material now or later, and how to use the audio materials for him. My humble pranams, Swamiji, yours faithfully. It's a good question which Dasji has asked. See, when it comes to babies and children, you should not ask them to force them to do the sadhana every day and all that. No rules for them. You do your sadhana, even yoga sankirtan also, and here and there, you can have a separate material. One is your sadhana material, that should be separate. Another separate sadhana material can be kept for general playing at home. So when when the child keeps listening to that here and there, that is more than enough. Because children learn in an indirect way, incidentally. It will look as if they are playing, but they will absorb all the vibration. So as far as the infinite happiness material goes, it's really good that he at 9 years he has got this empowerment. All the seeds have been put inside him. It is really fantastic. Even if he had not attended all the sessions fully, it does not matter. The seeds have been sown. Now, since he is only 9 years old, you cannot play the material right now. The Yoga Sankirtan would be better. I'm saying when he is active. But what you can do is, every now and then, the material can be used. You can play when he is going off to sleep. See, that will work better than to make him sit and do the meditation and all that. When he is in a relaxed mode, he is going off to sleep, this material can just be played to him. Now, what has been observed is that the children pick up the energy very fast. But don't overdo it. This is only to keep in touch. Now all the seeds have been sown. So as he grows, see, whatever material which you will be getting is a wealth which you are creating for him. In finance they say, creating assets. This is the best asset, spiritual assets which you are creating for him. So as he grows up, all those materials will be there and he can start using them. But till then, very intelligently, without disturbing his energy. That is, when I say disturbing his energy, what I mean is all children will be very active and restless, So without disturbing them, without disturbing that, you can play it at a time when he is relaxed. Best is before he goes to sleep or something. Or when he is, sometimes, let us say he is tired or he is unwell. At that time you can play this. It will cause a lot of healing. So without their knowledge, they will just pick up that energy and it will have a very soothing effect on his mind. So you can practice that. There is also another question which has been asked. Instead of reading the question, I'll just mention it here. Whether the sadhana material, that is whether it's Yoga Sankirtan or any other material, of a person who has passed away, whether that can be used by others. The answer is no. See, as I told you, these sadhana materials are very personal for you. So when you are doing sadhana with your material, now your energy also gets connected to that, to those vibrations, to that particular material. So if a person has done a sadhana with his or her material, now that is a very individual energy flow which is created. So now, just because that person has passed away, has left the body, now if another person takes up that material and starts doing, it will not work. Rather, it can cause a lot of damage, because that sadhana material has been specially energized. Whatever you're downloading, a lot of time and effort has gone into energizing it in a particular way, where it changes its color and conforms to your personality. That is how these materials have been designed. Even though they are general materials, as you do sadhana with that particular energy which is required for you starts being generated from that material. So there is a very personal connection. So now the same rules are applicable whether a person is alive or whether a person is in the body or a person has passed away. So what can you do? you can delete whatever materials that person were using. It's not only that. See, we say don't keep a photograph and all that and hang it somewhere and all. Why do we say that? Why do yogis say that? Because see, when you burnt the body, then again bringing in the earth element, attracting the soul back to the earth element is not good. So remember this. See, when the sadhana is done, as long as a person is alive and the karmas have not ended for that birth, the healing will be given for the body. But let us say a person's karmas have ended, then the healing will directly be given to the soul. So when a person is in the deathbed, the best thing which can be done is to play the Yoga Sankirtan for that particular person. Because as the soul is leaving the body, if it is exposed to those vibrations, now the soul will get ascension very easily. These are all the yogic secrets, Even death should be a very spiritual experience that will facilitate further growth. Okay, so now we'll do the meditation. Sit in a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes. Breathe in a deep way. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not these pranas. I am not these various emotions and thoughts. I am that supreme, infinite self. I am a spark of that divine flame. Every action which is emanating from me is divine. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a very deep and powerful session today. Each and every one of these principles which are being given to you have the potential to completely transform your life. So reflect on these principles. You can note down your points, and throughout the week, whenever you get time, you can take up those points which inspired you most and you can reflect on them. That is called manana. And see how you can apply these principles in your mind, in your life. And especially the homeworks which are given, don't miss them. Because when you do all those things and you come back, you're going to receive more energy. It's for a purpose that these things are being given to you. Okay, so next week we'll go into more depth. There is one small announcement. In the month of April, we'll be having the grand release of the next Yoga Sankirtan, which is Maha Ganapati Dhyana. It will be on the 16th of April. The venue and the time, all those details will be given to you. It is going to be a live session in the auditorium. And after that, we are going to have the empowerment course also, the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment course. And this time, it is going to be creating the balance in your life using the cosmic energy, and the empowerment of the Mahaganapati Dhyana will be given during the course. During the release time, it will be a very powerful healing session on 16th, and then when we have the empowerment course, the actual empowerment for the Mahaganapati Dhyana will also be given to you. Okay, you can just gently make a note of this and plan accordingly. Okay, so thank you very much. Hari Om.